Very.
I do want to transition though, because you and I were speaking about this earlier, and it's the idea that how to conceptualize a business, right? In this off season, I was thinking like, okay, I've built brands, I've big brands, small brands, help brands come up with brandscapes and all of these things. And you mentioned to me that we're in a world of opportunity, right? Where today more than ever, we have so much at our fingertips. We have so many ways of getting money and doing all these great things and building brands and enterprises. And we've seen more billionaires. I've seen more billionaires in my lifetime, especially of my color, than I'm sure my parents have seen when they were growing up.
Exactly.
Shout out to Rihanna. Hey, girl. And so we're in a space of, people are trying to do more because we have more opportunities, especially people that are young, the younger crowd, the 21s to 38s, they're doing more and they're taking the world on their backs, right? So I'm saying all of that to kind of pick your brain on how conceptualizing a business, right? Because the opportunities there, the resources are more available to us than before. What is like for you personally, because I can dive into this, but I want to hear your train of thought on this. What is it? What does it mean to conceptualize a business? And where to start or any of that?
I think that's a complex question because for me, I always think that, okay, so I'm a filmmaker. My goal is to open a film studio. So I'm kind of one track mind. One thing, in that process of perfecting that one thing, so many other things can come from it. I don't think you should just not do other things, but when you have that main baby, that thing I think is important to perfect it, because in perfecting that first thing, you're learning so much, right?
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
One of our guests, he mentioned, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, you have to perfect one thing, because if you give your attention to so many other things, you can't perfect that one thing. So the importance, so it starts with your passion first. What's your passion project? And then from there, for example, you're supposed to, in that first project, do so many things that's going to open doors, whether it be marketing more, whether you are learning how to build your website, or learning how to do product photography or visuals. Once you master all those things, it kind of allows you to jump into other things. So I think honestly it just starts with your passion project first, to be honest.
I think I'm going to piggyback off of that for the simple fact that multitasking. So we all like to multitask, and we like to have our hands in so many different buckets. But one thing about multitasking, and I learned this the hard way, it's good to be able to, but multitasking is not the way. Here's why. And debate me if you need to. But the thing about multitasking is you can't fully focus on one thing and get one thing done. Think about your day, right? When you're multitasking, you're doing emails, this, that. No one thing actual gets you to focus. So which is why one of the biggest key for success is quitting multitasking and just getting things done. Because the moment I'm trying to answer this email, plus I'm trying to build this report, instead of the report taking me 45 minutes, the report is now taking me 2 hours because I was back and forth to email. So if you just I hate that word because it's so hard for me to say. But when you kind of just break down your day and say, okay, the first 30 minutes of the day, I'm going to be checking my emails. Then I'm going to jump to this. Then I'm going to jump to this. You get so much more done. And I think the same happened with businesses, right? So we'll start something and we'll say, oh, I want to do this. And then we jump and do this thing. And it hasn't even formed its legs yet, and we're trying to jump to something else. How are you going to give your same time and energy into something else when you're still trying to take the training wheels off of the first thing that you started? So for example, when you see people with multiple businesses, it's not that they can't do it. They have a team of people on each business to get that business going. So they'll start it and you'd be like, oh, okay, well, if we can multitask, then why does this person have da 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 da? You think Rihanna is there trying to make sure Savage Fenty is up and running? No, a company is outsourced for Savage Fenty as a subscription company where they run the entire operations And all Rihanna does is not, she promotes and all that, but she also comes up with design. But she also has a design team that she works with. So she can say, okay, for this season, I want purple lace, neon lace, and give me all of that. And they source that, and her team handles it, and she comes and make the decisions. If you are the person that's doing everything from the decision making to picking the fabric, sewing the fabric, it's going to be hard for you to then now start a jewelry company and make sure that your lingerie company is still successful.
Literally. As you started, the first thing that came to my mind is you need an assistant. You can't do all that stuff on your own. But in my realm, go to my world, right? So some of the most successful photographers who have the best, not necessarily the best quality, right? Because you don't have, this day and age, you don't have to have the best quality, right? You have to have the best system, right?
Yeah.
So the best processes,
system, yes,
literally. You have, and that's what a team is. It's a system. It's a process. Because that's what you're literally building, and that's why I mentioned perfecting the process first on that one thing. Because you're gonna learn so much from it. But the most successful photographers, they don't edit any of their photos, right? They shoot and they shoot it. They do composition. They pass it over. The other person will edit. You have an assistant who's reaching out. You have someone setting up the shoot or answering emails. My job is to literally show up and be the face of the brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That to me builds something that's so important called efficiency. You gotta be efficient.
Yep.
At the end of the day, and I'm a one man band, so I'm literally talking about what I need now, to be honest. But those type of things are the difference between an amazing photographer who can only take a couple clients a month and someone who is taking a bunch of clients, turning around the very next day. I've had wedding photographers who shot it one day, and before you know it, is a string of photos from the actual shoot, and you're like, damn, that's a quick turnaround and quality. They're not even editing themselves.
Yeah,
it's a team.
Yeah,
so
yeah. And team is something we'll get into teams another day, because like you said, a team is a system, and we'll get into that whole process of how to eliminate waste and all that stuff out of your team, because there are people on your team that can bring your team down. So we're going to some like high level stuff when it comes to team and team building and how to build a team. That's the key thing. That is the key. We'll get into that.
Think about that. When I say perfecting one thing, you literally learn how to build a team from that, because you're going to have a couple bad apples. You'll not know how to coach. You learn how to coach. You learn how to problem solve in that first example. And then from there, you learn, I'm not going to make these same mistakes ever again.
So now you can translate that into something else.
Literally.
Got you.
Seasons are important. The seasons of learning this. Because obviously, I'm a big fan of seasons. This is my season to do this. This is my seasons, because I've had seasons where I've just had no clients and I'm just perfecting my craft. And then what happens is if you're good enough to do certain things, and now it's my season to learn how to market and to learn how to brand, or this is my season to learn how to do this or do that, or my paperwork is all bad. Okay, this is my season to just really dial in and
perfect your contracts, etc. So, that's good. I do like that. You know what? I think when it comes to conceptualizing a business, and I've been here several times, I think it goes back to, what does the market need? Yeah. Number one. And you can have a passion project. I can say, oh my gosh, I love jewelry and I want to have a jewelry brand. That's fine. But what I would say is you have to do that research. A lot of businesses fail because they don't do that research. Exactly. What is the need for your product, the niche of what you're trying to output? Because if I'm just saying, oh, I want to do a jewelry brand because I like jewelry, and right now I want to do, say for example, and this is very random, this is not true, but this is very random. Say right now I want to do just all gold jewelry. We know that gold is timeless, so this is a bad example, but I'm just going to use it anyways. I want to do all gold jewelry, and gold is not in right now, right? And it's only Swarovski crystals that are hot, or then I'm going to be diving into like a failing hole, because that's not what the audience need. Which is why some people hate trends, but trends kind of help you get to where you need to go, like understanding where things are coming from and what is going to be happening and forecasting. If you aren't doing the research on a new business and you don't know the history or where that business came from or ideas and concepts or what happened in the past and how can it translate in the future or forward thinking, you're going to drive yourself into a hole. So conceptualizing a business really isn't about, damn, how much money am I going to make? Yes, you want to make money. Abso-freaking-lutely. But what is the need, or what is the, like, how do I have enough time to put into this? Because right now I can drop money on a business, but if I don't have time to put into it, guess what's going to happen? If I don't have a system and a process of people to kind of facilitate that, my money is going to go down the drain, even though it's something that, I want to do, if I don't have the time and energy and resource. So conceptualizing a business to me is finding out what is needed in the market, doing your research, and research looks like knowing pricing, knowing the audience, knowing the history, because if you don't know where something came from, you don't know where it's going. That's just in general. And then making sure that you have the manpower and the time to put into that business.
Exactly.
Because like you said, if you don't have a team or you don't have the training wheels to kind of facilitate and perfect that one thing, anything else you do after that is kind of probably going to bottom out. And that's, I think, how a lot of businesses fail within that first year.
So let me ask you a question. So in terms of conceptualizing a business, so this is obviously I don't know, so I'm going to ask you. So in terms of conceptualizing a business, so if you have a niche, you're known for this, right? Yeah. It's going to either go good or bad. So meaning you have a passion project, something you're passionate about, but your audience doesn't know you for this.
Okay.
All right. This passion project, do you see pushing forward with it as an opportunity to use your likeliness to amplify it, or would it be a situation where you shouldn't do it because that's not what my audience knows me for?
You should definitely do it. However, you cannot depend on that audience. So if my audience follows me because they know that I'm I don't know, say I have a bunch of socks, like, you know me from my sock game, and you know that I'm coming out different socks every day, different styles, depending on where I'm going, what I'm doing, and that's your vibe with me. I'm me selling you I don't even know, me selling you body scrubs. You're just like, what?
That's not too far off. If you should like it gotta be something far off.
Something far off, like what? Like me selling you insurance. Yeah. Perfect example. Okay. So now I'm the sock girl. You follow me for my socks, and my game is now I'm trying to tell you need to get your life insurance, and which you do. But I'm telling you, I'm trying to sell you this pitch as to why you need life insurance. You're just gonna be like, yo, this is not why I follow you. So what you have to do not give up on that passion, because you probably, that draws near to you because maybe you had something that happened in your family or whatever that you now see the importance of a life insurance. But I wouldn't say deter yourself from it, because that's not what your core audience know you for. Build a community outside of your sock world. You did it with socks, so now that you perfected it with the socks, do it somewhere else, because there is an audience for it. It may not be the audience, and we always speak about this, like, your friends and your family aren't necessarily the people that are gonna make your business become that $1 million business. It's going to be people that do not know anything about you. So build that community for the insurance company. It's starting fresh. It's a new business. You have to conceptualize it. Oh, what can I do? Where do I find these people? Because people need insurance. It's just finding them. You have to know where your audience is, go to get them and say, hey, come and follow me. I know this, and be a master in your craft, and understand that if I'm able to educate you, you're more likely to be on the journey with me. I can't just come over here and be like, here, buy this insurance policy from me because I know what I'm doing. How do I know what you're doing? You're not even giving me tools and tips and nothing, right? Yeah. That's kind of what it is. So I wouldn't give up my passion project because my core audience doesn't like it or know of it. I'll introduce it to them. If they kind of come on the journey with me, great. If not, that's fine. I will go somewhere else and get a community around me, and that community will be interested in that particular thing.
Exactly. If I could piggyback off of that, I would also say I think it's always important to leverage your likeliness. So I think, and that's when really marketing, you'll really see the benefit of it, because if I'm leveraging my likeliness, but I market it a certain way, or I put it in front of you a certain way, or whether you do it with humor or some other medium, I can still be effective with what I'm doing instead of just saying, "Oh, hey, well, I sell socks. By the way, also get this insurance." That's marketing, bro. Like, why would you do? Why would you do that? You know what I mean?
You have to find a way to transition that sock company, you breaking your leg or something, into getting the insurance.
Literally, you can start with spoof, so you breaking your leg, and then a hashtag on the back, insurance, like a shameless plug.
Yeah,
that stuff works. Trust me. Even, especially if I know you for humor. If I thought it was a funny skit or whatever like that, and you start getting cool, and then
now you're interested and you want to click to what is this insurance thing that he's talking about or she's talking about. I think it's never give up on your passion project. I do, and I said this on season 1. Know when to quit, though. Quit is a bad word, but know when you have exhausted that point in your life or that thing or that brand or that business, if it's draining you too much. And there's some businesses that take years. I was just having a conversation this week with a friend. We went out to, I think it was like a lunch or something, and he was mentioning to me one of his uncle had a business, and the business was doing so bad, like just draining money. It's a restaurant, draining money. And he didn't close the restaurant. And the moment he closed the restaurant, COVID hit. Then he said, I'm going to try again. And everybody's like, yo, why would you try again? It's COVID. Opened a restaurant in COVID. This was overseas. And the restaurant did phenomenal to the point that he had to open 3 additional locations. Wow. That are now successful. But I think you have to know when to kind of draw the line and say, okay, this is bleeding me out too much. Let me jump into something else, or all right, let me just pause, because you can keep feeding a hungry beast, but nothing's coming of it. I think you have to kind of know when to make that turning point. So
absolutely,
that's super important. But
it'd be a liability.
Yeah, your passion project, I would never give up on that. I would perfect it. Maybe like I said, maybe I like jewelry, but maybe a jewelry brand isn't what I need to be doing. Maybe I need to be consulting for jewelry companies, or maybe I need to be a jewelry someone who does reviews on jewelry and write stories about jewelry and like do something else within that world. Not necessarily. And a lot of things make money. People think that I have to sell a product to make money. You don't have to necessarily sell products to make money. There's so many other avenues that you can kind of go down with that one passion, that I think once you tap into what those pillars are, then you're able to kind of
you gotta think outside of the box, man.
Yeah,
literally. This is the day and age when you have professors with PhDs making less than little kids in their living room
with toys,
you know what I mean, playing games, or just with a creative idea, or just honestly leveraging their likeliness. I stumbled upon like little videos on YouTube where kids would just raggedy cameras. They're actually not even that, basketball. So you have these little kids. There's a whole market with this AAU circuit, and it's nothing to us, but like the biggest consumers, they're the ones, the viewerships. There's usually little kids who are watching YouTube and stuff all day. Just because it's a word that we don't understand doesn't mean that there's not so many other people who are interested in it. It's like the Viewers' Choice Award.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or the Teen Choice Awards. Yeah. Listen, if I had a kid, I'm putting that kid on YouTube.
Bro.
If I had I don't know who this is for, but if I had a kid, and again, I know it's your private home and your private space, but if they play with these toys every day and you're playing Play-Doh every day, I'm gonna build you a Play-Doh channel. If you're making squishies every day, or like slime is such a big industry. If my kid is making slime or playing with slime every day, you're going to be on YouTube talking about slime or doing slime, and I'm going to record you 15 minutes every day and put you on YouTube. I'm going to tell you why we're going to get this money, because that industry is so big. AMSR, like that whole shebang.
What's so funny about what you just said is that people probably just thinking that it's comical. Like, okay,
but it's facts.
She's joking. No,
I'm telling you.
There's a million other little kids who are squishing, and they're going to see your kid squishing. How is he squishing? Oh, and they're going to become addicted. Literally, my little niece, and I have 2 beautiful little nieces, and the things they watch, and I'm like, Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is where the money at, bro. Like literally.
Put them kids on YouTube, put them to work early, create a little LLC, or even if you don't do that, do something. Put them on YouTube, monetize that channel, and pay that college tuition, okay? Pay that. Listen, you have to find other ways. So put them on YouTube. Literally. I don't know who this is for, but put them on YouTube. Right. So we've been going for a while. I do want to wrap this up. I do want to say thank you again for a great conversation. More of these conversations are going to be happening. And again, it's at the after hours. We just kind of ramble about important things or things that we see when we are recording or not, or just in our spaces. Follow us on Instagram at Myuze Marketing, is MYUZE Marketing on Instagram, and then on YouTube. Obviously, you probably are watching this already on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, like, share, tell your friends to tell a friend, and just thank you again for being a part of it and watching and supporting and liking. And this season, let's just take it to another level. Thanks for watching or listening. Bye, guys.